We're gonna do a song that you never heard before.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again.
Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother. What's happening?
What up, bro?
Oh man, trying to get through what is already looking like gonna be a long week. But it's good though. I guess I can't complain too much. What's good your way?
Basically sitting up here trying to get the podcast shared. You know how it always has that delay.
Yeah.
But no, we live now. So no, what's good?
Man, you know what has been interesting, bro, is that I almost I almost didn't have buyer's remorse, right, on something, and then immediately had it, but then went out and bought something for somebody else and didn't have any issue on doing it though, man. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yo, man, my boy lost this weekend, bro. But before we get into it, let me get that music going.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you
of
smell
all time.
what the rock. It doesn't matter what your name
The
is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Yes, sir. Listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers Facebook and YouTube page. We say every episode is uploaded immediately after the show. Ace Kennedy,
What up? My boy lost.
you were saying somebody lost. Let's first off, shout out to my girl JB for checking in though early though. What's goody? Who that lost this weekend?
Conor McGregor, bro.
Because it was a lot of people. It was a lot of people catching some L's over the weekend, bro.
Oh, well, we got to talk about it. But yeah, I'm talking about Conor McGregor, bro.
Let me ask you this, Ace Kennedy.
What's up?
Okay, I didn't order the fight, right?
Neither did I.
I mean, you can catch it afterwards and see what's up, right?
Well, here's
I
the
think
funny
that the
thing, right? The funny thing, Brown hit me up. He was like, yo, let's go down to B-Dubs and watch the fight. Now, mind you, it's 10:30 at night. It's storming outside. I already had to run in the rain. I was like, listen, bro, me and the wife just came from date night, so that's definitely not going to happen. So, and then lo and behold, how he lost. And then it's just like, if I would have went out there, I'd have wasted my time, basically.
I mean, listen. At this point, let me ask you this: do you think people watch Conor McGregor to watch him lose to see if so? Because I thought that at some point, right, people would watch Floyd fight because you were just waiting for Floyd to get knocked out or waiting for someone to beat him, right? Is Conor McGregor at that point?
No, because he's already lost.
Okay.
And so now they're looking for him to get back to where he was. Like, they want the trash talk along with the fighting, along with, like, he hasn't been the same since he fought Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? That time off, he never improved. He stayed the same and everybody else caught up with him. It's kind of like what happened with Ronda Rousey. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we've seen this happen so many times before with like Iceman and Rampage and you know, Rashad Evans, like all of these dudes that, you know, it's a young man's sport. And, you know, unfortunately, like I said, Conor McGregor hasn't changed anything what he does. And so people aren't trying to see him lose because he's already lost. Now it's to the point they want to see a redemption story. So,
see, I think that the reason why I say waiting for him to lose, right, is because he can listen. There's nobody who's going to sell a fight the way that he does, not in MMA, right? So he's going to draw the most money because he draws the most interest. And so what I'm curious about is that now, right, people liked him because, all right, this is Conor McGregor, this hard-hitting, loud mouth. And now, you know what I'm saying, he's sitting here walking everybody down. Well, here it is. Now you got this big mouth and you ain't. And it just feels like he was the villain that everybody liked. But now he feels like the villain that people just don't really rock with as much. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just.
It's just you. Because like I said, he's already lost. So that if you would have said that before the Khalid fight or whatever his name is, yeah, I could see that. But now that he's lost and he's been away, they expect him, like they need him to back it up, because here's the thing, like you said, he is somebody that can still draw people to want to see him fight. But if you keep losing, then the trash talk doesn't mean anything. So at this point, he has to have a win in order for that draw to continue.
See, I think that the big thing about it is that let's just say if he lost 3 more fights in a row, I think he's going to talk the same trash and people will still be drawn to it, right? And maybe because they're looking for him to come back. I get what you're saying, but I guess when I'm looking at this and I'm saying like, bruh, like, okay, when you fought, the last time he won, he kneed Cowboy, but this was a Cowboy who he was a rusty when he was coming back and everything like that. But I mean, the last times that he's lost, he's gotten walked, dog. I mean, he's gotten dog walked, where it wasn't even like he looked bad out there. And so I get that you're saying it's a young man's game. I don't even know if it's necessarily a young man's game as much as it is that you can't be that inactive and then expect to beat somebody who's very active, who does it all the time. With that being said, though, man, I think that it makes sense, though, that if you are another fighter, like I think that the guy who beat him, like, yeah, you got to run it back, because if you feel like, okay, well, I can whip him easily, like these dudes feel like, then you do it for the same reason why I said that people fight Floyd, where you think like, all right, well, I'm not going to take that kind of punishment because Floyd's a counter puncher and he's a defensive fighter. So you're only going to take as much punishment as you're willing to throw because he's going to get the counter punch. The same with McGregor. It's like, you know that with him being McGregor, he's the biggest draw. You're going to get one of your biggest paydays. Like I'd imagine that this was the dude he fought biggest payday, right? And so if I'm him, I'm thinking, you mean tell me you're going to pay me more to be the guy who I know I can very easily wash? And so it makes sense for him to have another fight. But I saw the replay of the fight, though, bro. And dog, I mean, listen, man. I mean, he was whipping Floyd. I mean, not Floyd. He was whipping Conor, though, boy. Like, I mean, he looked like he was just doing whatever he wanted to do. And McGregor got a couple shots in naturally. Like, you ain't gonna go out here and just get a clean knockout every time or clean go. But if he fought this dude 5 more times, I think this dude would beat him 5 times in a row.
Well, unfortunately, because he broke his ankle, he got something to say that this is the reason why. So with that being said, like you said, people are paid to see a 4th fight. So
yeah, it's interesting, man. I'm just like, he's exciting enough because while he talks it and while you say that he hasn't improved, he does come out there with the intentions of trying to knock somebody out. And I think that alone is going to make him a draw. Whereas I think that Floyd's going out there to win, right? And so Floyd doesn't necessarily care to knock you out. He's perfectly fine with winning on the card. And I think that that's enough for him, though, bro. But I think that there is something to be said about Conor McGregor still at this age, still fighting with the intent of trying to knock somebody out.
Yeah, because he feels like he still has something to prove. That's the whole point. So as long as he's still hungry like that, like now he's got to look at, I done lost these fights. I done broke an ankle. Like he's gotta dominate a fight, bro. And
listen, bro,
some caliber.
It's hard. I don't know how you just. I know that you look like some of these guys just love to fight, right? They love the training. They've been doing it. None of these guys have ever had $100 million dropped in their lap in their prime. I don't know how you get the same motivation to come out there and potentially get your face pounded in for $5 million after you just got $100 million for one exhibition fight.
Right, but the problem is though, would that money is only gonna last for so long, so he got to do something.
Well, but that's true, right? But you think about that. He could do 100, right? But then let's just say it's going to take him about 5 to 10 fights in the UFC to equal that same kind of money. What I think is going to happen, though, bro, wouldn't surprise me if the next Conor McGregor fight, Manny Pacquiao, bro, exhibition fight, he's going to make about $50 million off of that one. And it wouldn't surprise me if Conor McGregor just says, you know what, this is enough money. I can go and rest on my laurels. I'm out of here. I ain't fighting no more.
Well, he got a couple people lined up because, of course, you know, the Logan Paul team or one of the Paul boys want to fight him. So,
yeah, I think, oh, my gosh. Did you see? I think it was Jake Paul. Did you see that Jake Paul had the chain made of Conor McGregor knockout? Did you see his chain? Oh, my gosh. So, okay. So this boy that went and got $100,000 chain made that has Conor McGregor getting knocked out. And this is when he fought. Who was the last boy that Conor McGregor got? It may have been the Khabib that knocked him out. When Conor was on the ground with his arm up like this, though, bro. This boy, Jake Paul, then went and got a whole chain, right? Got a whole chain, $100,000 chain made. And the piece on the chain is Conor McGregor's getting knocked out, bro. I said, oh, my God. Brilliant marketing. If you go ahead and get this fight going, though, bro, it's $100,000. But I know the chain has already paid for itself, though, man.
Yeah. As far as the liquor, I thought he sold a bunch of his shares of the liquor. So, I mean, that's coming.
Has it, though.
Yeah. He still has
it. He sold it.
I'm just saying, you know, he still got to do something. And so maybe he got investments right. And he don't need to fight anymore. I don't know. I ain't counting the dude's pockets. If he want to fight, I want to see it. But yeah. What else is going on?
It was good, man. So these USA boys, right? Team USA. Okay, Ace Kennedy. For starters, these boys got out here and lost to Nigeria, right? Mm-hmm. Nigeria has 5 players from the NBA. I believe 5 players that are basically role players. In the NBA on their roster, right? They go and they hit 23s on Team USA, right? Now, what's interesting about that is that Team USA, in all the years past, they would focus on, they would not build around, but they would always include some big men. You know, Patrick Ewing, you've had Charles Barkley wasn't the tallest, but you had 7-foot. David Robinson was on the squads. You've had Tim Duncan on there. And now, technically, they're power forwards. Bam, who's like 6'9", right? Draymond, who's like 6'6", 6'7", Kevin Love. So you don't have anybody out there. And so these boys is out here getting rebounded on, but not just getting out-rebounded because those other teams – They're putting out their tallest lineup on out there, though, bro. But these boys outshot a team that was basically built around offense. So my question for you is this, Ace Kennedy. Is this something or is this nothing because maybe it's exhibition after all and that, you know, they were taking it easy when they didn't take it serious?
This is nothing. This is like the preseason for them. They just trying to get shots up. They just trying to build some chemistry. They're trying to see what lineups work, which lineups don't work. Whereas these international teams have been playing together for years, and you're playing against Team USA. So you already know. It's just like, think about it in the NBA, right? No matter who is playing the Nets, they trying to give them their best, regardless of where it's at, and because you're playing against the Nets. So that's the way I feel about this. Now, if they lose after the exhibition, that's when my level of concern goes up.
Listen, Ace Kennedy, these boys backdoored this loss by then losing to Australia, led by Patty Mills, led by Joe Ingles. They got about four or five guys that are on their that are NBA guys that are also out there. which is kind of interesting though, right? Because let me ask you this: like, I understand that it's just exhibition, right? But I still always compare these, like every team, to the dream team, and I don't care if it was an exhibition or not. Jordan then was not going for it. Charles Barkley didn't take no slack on nobody. So what I'm wondering, Ace Kennedy, every year you see more and more international guys that are making it to the league. Joker, your boy Sabonis, who that? Antetokounmpo for Greece. You're seeing all of these players now. So do you think that the world is catching up?
100%. 100%. I mean, you think about it, right? You look at Luka's team, right? Luka's team hadn't made it to the Olympics like that in a while, right? He comes in, now he's playing back for them, and bam, they make it because he's played in the NBA. He knows how that stuff works. The experience goes up. I mean, even looking at it from a soccer standpoint, right? When you think soccer, you immediately think of the European or overseas style. You know what I'm saying? And then now USA has professional soccer. So we're stepping our game up. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
everybody's evolving constantly. And so this is supposed to be our sport, but hey, they gonna have to play. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy part is that this year it's on. Guess who it's on? It's on KD. It's KD's team.
Well, you know what I think is interesting though, bro. Speaking of this, so of the world, Canada has like 7 guys from the NBA or former players, and they ain't even qualified. Them boys lost. Andrew Wiggins and all the boys, RJ Barrett, them boys that didn't get close. Here's one thing that I think that is interesting. That I saw something that I thought that maybe I was the only one that noticed this. When I looked at the roster and we talked about that, KD is the tallest person on the team, right? So what I find to be interesting is this, so in the NBA, right, and just in general terms, right, increasingly the big man has been diminished, right, because you very rarely see the 7-foot center, American 7-foot centers, right? You see DeAndre Guy, what's my boy, for the Suns, Yaden. So Aiden is from the Bahamas, right? But Anthony Davis is the only skilled that I can think of, skilled American big man, right? It's like you've diminished it so much that it's almost like, well, now when it comes to the Olympics, when that really matters, you don't have that. Is it like, I'm just kind of wondering, like,
what about Whiteside?
The Whiteside ain't never even been an all-star. And I get it. Maybe you don't necessarily got to be an all-star to make the team, but Whiteside's been hopping around on teams and everything like that. I'm talking about like a truly skilled offensive threat that also is a defensive threat, though, bro. Like I had to really think about that. AD is the only one that I can think of.
Yeah, because DeAndre Jordan been hurt.
Well, DeAndre Jordan is also getting old too, though, man. I mean,
I get that, but I'm just saying you're not gonna be playing a whole bunch of minutes like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That their whole point is to go small. That's the whole point that they were trying to do. They were trying to get shooters for this team. But I'm saying for a couple of minutes to have somebody to go in there and bang and get some boards, obviously I'm pretty sure Anthony Davis was probably on the dossier to have him play until he got hurt. So
here's the thing, though, bro. What does that say that you built the team around shooters and scorers? I don't even know that you necessarily built it around shooters. I think that you built it around scorers, right? So you built it around scorers, and now the scorers, everybody's on the court at the same time. So you're watching everybody go. So what happens? So you would like to think that on some night, somebody, if you got a team full of scorers, somebody should get you 30, 40. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, yeah, they're trying to get their chemistry down, but I'm looking to see, is James Harden on this roster?
I think so. As I know, he got arrested he got arrested out somewhere. Was it Italy or somewhere?
I thought he was with Lil Baby.
He was, but
that was Paris then.
Okay.
I just think there's someone like I'm just sitting here thinking like, who is somebody? Because I think is it Kyrie on the team?
No, so I take that back because I've seen Dame, I've seen Draymond, I've seen KD, I've seen Tatum, I've seen Bill.
Book is supposed to join the team.
Yeah, but I mean he's another scorer, so I mean, So yeah, I don't know that because I haven't seen Russ, I haven't seen Harden, I haven't seen Kyrie. Kevin Love is out there. Bam is out there. So
I'm sitting here trying to look at this roster, bro. Hold on one sec, bro, because I got to look at this, man. Okay. Here we go. So you got Bam, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Jeremy Grant. I didn't know he was out there. Jeremy Grant, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, who's still playing, Zach LaVine, Kevin Love, Chris Middleton, Jason. This is all guards, bro. I got like Bam is the only power forward. Jeremy Grant and Bam are the only power forwards on the team. And maybe Kevin Love, if you consider that. Yeah. Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. This team is definitely missing some star power, bro.
No, my gosh, though, man. Like it. I don't know. Speaking of basketball, though, man. Listen. I'm looking here. Brittany Rowe just jumped in the comments. Said, "Did you see?" Listen. It doesn't matter to me. If she's not able to run in the Olympics, then it's the world. I know that she said she was going to run in the World Games. That's all fine. But I don't know, man. Like I want to see her win. I wanted to see her on that Olympic stage, though. So I'm still kind of disappointed in that whole thing, though, bro. But listen, man. What'd you say?
I said, who are you disappointed in, though?
I'm disappointed in Sha'Carri Richardson. Not the ruling. I'm disappointed that she knew the rule and still did it. I really wanted to see. Like this is my thing, though, bro. Like even like for sports in general. Like I love to see when somebody is at their full healthiness with no issues, and you say you're at your absolute best. Let me see what you got. Whether it's in the NBA and watching, watching the playoffs now, right? Like I at least love. I don't want to see the Bucks if they don't have Giannis playing, bro. Like I don't want to see the Suns if they don't have Chris Paul or if they don't have Book, if they don't have none of those guys. Like I can at least appreciate that these boys is at full capacity, and I think that I also would want to see her at her best on the biggest stage, though, bro. So that was speaking of that, though, man. Did you watch the ESPYs?
No.
It was hosted by your boy. Oh my gosh. It was hosted by your boy Anthony Mackie, who's everywhere. He has like 7 movies on Netflix, bro. Like literally, he has like 7 movies. He is the most workingest guy in Hollywood. But he did it, and it was it was funny, and then it was just not funny. It was like really hit or miss. His jokes was just kind of like he had his Ben Simmons joke where he was talking about Ben Simmons was contributing to his philanthropic efforts where he was building an orphanage with all them bricks. And so he was showing Ben Simmons at the free throw line. And then they go to this building where it looks like they're building some bricks. And then they have these 2 kids come on there. They're about 5 years old, 6 years old, saying thank you to damn Ben Simmons, though, bro. I was like, oh my gosh, though, man. That part was like if you would have thought that was really funny or just like real cheesy, though, bro. So yeah. But it was a good look, though, man. It was pretty cool. I can't lie.
Yeah, and he got a movie on Amazon too.
Yes, he got a movie where he's not even the star. He's not the main guy. He's just like a supporting role that's very light. I was like, bro, he is everywhere though, man.
Hey, that boy bank account
Hey, well, you know what I did love about the ESPYs? I didn't know it until they just went to like the commercial break. I love that. You know how like at the BET Awards, how almost on all the BET Awards that MC Light is the voice of the award. So Vernon Davis, former tight end, Redskins, 49ers.
Denver Broncos.
Yeah, was the voice of the ESPYs. I thought he did an incredible job though, bro. Real smooth though, man. So
yeah. Speaking of the sports, what's up with your boy Stephen A, bro?
Ace Kennedy.
What's up?
I'm gonna be honest with you. And I saw that he since then issued an apology.
Mm-hmm.
I think I kind of understand where he was going with the comments, though, bro.
I understand where he was coming from, but here's the thing: because people have said it before. The problem is it's the way you say stuff, right?
True.
So that's the thing. Like he could have said the same thing, but just in a different way. And so the way he was saying it, he put sting on it. Of course, he's trying to flare it up and say X, Y, and Z for ratings. He wants to make his bosses some money,
right?
So. Of course, now everybody's talking about it, and yeah, he had to issue an apology. But
so he basically says, for the folks who haven't seen this, but he basically says that it's not a problem or that he has an issue, but it's just he felt some kind of way that baseball's most exciting player is a guy who doesn't speak English, right? So he has to have an interpreter, basically, and for that matter, though, bro, like. I kind of get that because here's what I think that what I compare that to, right, is way back when Yao Ming got to the NBA, right? It's like he's Chinese and that for a while Yao Ming had to have an interpreter. Well, even when Yao Ming first got to the league, he wasn't like the Yao Ming year 3, 4. So maybe at some point, right, this dude will be able to speak English very much like Ichiro did, right? When he first came and then he had to get one. But I gotta say though, man, every time I turn on ESPN, they showing Otani every single time. But I get what he said. He said, like, how do you get to connect with him though, right? If he doesn't speak any English, and you don't speak Japanese, then it's like you don't get to know his personality, you don't get to know his temperament. You have to get the interpreter's version of what he said. So I get that. And so from that, with that being said, though, I think that I don't think that it's necessary to apologize in his position if you felt like not that what you said was taken out of context, if the wording that you use may have been offensive to someone. But I understand. I think I understand what he was trying to say, though.
Right. It's just the way he said it. It's just because, Stephen A talks so big and, he's definitely loud and it's just the way he said it. So if he would have just been cool about it and just said what he said, it would have just been an arguing point and it'd been over with. No issue.
Yeah, and listen, speaking of this was the thing too. Speaking of baseball, I know you don't watch baseball, right?
Chipper Jones still playing?
No, Chipper Jones hasn't played in like 8 years, bro.
Right. That's where I'm at.
No, bro. So here's the thing that I do find to be very interesting, right? Because when it comes to baseball, right, I've always kind of maintained that in Texas, at least, right, that all of the best players play football and basketball. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't know very many of the best players. I did know some, but football, basketball, Texas is always it. And baseball is kind of a third place, and that's maybe if you put that behind track or whatever. But I think that what's interesting is that, when you look back, like probably like in the 60s and 70s, right? And you think back to like the Pittsburgh Pirates. And at one time, the Pittsburgh Pirates starting roster was like, they had like 8 black players that were starting on their roster, right? And it was a time where, baseball was heavily integrated. You saw everybody, almost except for at that time, Latino players were very, were underrepresented, I think. I mean, you had a couple of ones that were out there, but nothing at all. It was almost like baseball at the time was truly a reflection of like American population at the time, though, man. For black people versus white players. So then you went this long period basically where black athletes kind of went dormant in baseball, where they were there, but you went through this period like in the 90s in the 80s, where it was predominantly white players that were there, a handful of black people. And then slowly in the 90s, more and more Hispanic players were starting to be integrated more and more in baseball to the point that baseball started to set up these academies and started to invest in these countries like Dominican Republic, started to invest in these countries like Venezuela for baseball programs. And so one of the things that's interesting about that is you see like Vladimir Guerrero, right? You see Vlad Guerrero. I think he's from Dominican Republic, right? So he was one of those players that were in the 90s that were there. And then fast forward now in baseball. I mean, baseball, if you look at the spectrum of players in baseball, it's all over the place though, bro. So I think that it's interesting for somebody if you just don't, if you don't watch baseball from a standpoint of watching the games, because they are slow to watch on TV. But I think that if you just kind of keep up with what's going on, you'd be surprised if you haven't seen baseball in a while to see what kind of diversity that they have now. And the cool thing here is that they are at least trying to address trying to reinvigorate the interest of youth sports for black people, inner cities. I saw that they just dedicated or announced that they'd invest like $100 million to inner city programs to revitalize the interest of baseball amongst the African American and inner city communities, though, man. But it's a dope thing though to watch. When you watch like Fernando Tatis and know that his dad played baseball not that long ago, and now you see the juniors are coming aboard. It's dope, bro. It's a dope thing to watch.
Yeah, I get that.
That's my baseball. Listen, that's my baseball run that we'll probably never talk about again.
Probably, yeah.
But baseball is more the most fun time that I had ever remember watching baseball. There were two times that it was summer of '98 when Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa were getting close to breaking Roger Maris's record, that particular run. And then probably the second time I remember is when Barry Bonds said, you know what? I think I'm better than y'all boys anyway, and y'all are over here on these steroids knocking out these numbers. Let me show y'all what time it is. And so Barry Bonds got on that juice. And what was dope, like I said, was dope by him using steroids. But what was interesting about it is that he had a batting average where he would hit a home run 1 out of 5 at-bats, and you would almost be able to count the at-bats. And so it was exciting times. You saw he was out there in San Francisco hitting it out the park. Dudes is cashing in baseballs for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was an amazing time for baseball, though, man.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Once Doc Gooden and Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds, all them left, that's when I left, bro.
You said Doc Gooden?
Yeah.
Doc Gooden stopped playing like in '95, bro.
Hey, when I had his baseball card where he was where he had the glowing ball, him and Nolan Ryan, bro. That's the last time I was watching baseball, bro.
I still remember Nolan Ryan putting Ventura in the headlock and knuckling him up. It's funny because Ventura went on to be the White Sox head coach. And if I was a referee, if I was somebody in a press, I would have asked him as a reporter. I'm like, listen, bro, I want to ask you this though, man. This boy Nolan Ryan looked like he was about 40 years old. He was knuckling you up on over here, bro. What are we gonna do about this?
Didn't Nolan Ryan swing on somebody, fool?
Nolan Ryan put him in the headlock. It was knuckling him up.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, Ventura. Ventura ran to the mound. Said he was there for the smoke, and went and ran. Almost looked like he went and put himself in the headlock. Working him though, man.
Yeah, Roger Clemens, bro. Them was my boys, bro.
Yeah. I used to like Roger Clemens until he went to the Yankees, though, bro. I was just like, yeah. But listen, we were talking about the Bucks and the Suns.
Mm-hmm.
When you say that, right? We were talking about that. The Bucks won. Giannis dropped another 40-point game.
Yep.
Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, they showed up.
Finally showed up. Yeah.
They usually are good for home games. They just don't show up on the away games.
Right. But they're gonna lose the next home game though.
You think so?
100%. I told you, I called this. I said the Suns would win the first two, the Bucks would win the third one, and then the Suns are gonna win the fourth. And then I said after that is a toss-up. So they're following my timeline.
See, I would expect that. I would expect that the norm that I can put my money on is that Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday will play terrible when they're not at home. So with that logic, I'm going to say that they'll tie it up on the next game, and then they'll lose the two games in the Suns. But I wish I didn't.
Well, this is the thing, right? For me, Monty is smart enough, and Chris Paul and them are smart enough to know all we got to do is shut down Middleton and Drew. Because the thing is that let Giannis get his. Kevin Durant has shown that you can't win it with just one person. So let Giannis.
Here's the thing, though. I understand that. I understand that logic, right? But how much are you gonna let Giannis get?
Let him get 40. It don't matter. It doesn't. Listen, bro. You're the one that came with your logic of your Charlie Venus equation on how people win. Giannis could score 50 points. What is the rest of the squad gonna do? Because you also have to remember Booker didn't play that well either. You think Booker is gonna just
this is the thing.
play?
I told you that. So you'll need in these NBAs, you'll need somebody to score 30 and two people to score 20 to win.
So if Middleton can't give you that, and if Drew can't give you that, who else do they have on their squad that's gonna score? That's what I'm saying. So if Giannis gets 50, okay. That's not going to be, like I said, Booker's not going to have another bad night like that, back to back. Chris Paul, Cameron Payne, they got too many weapons each night that can get you points, whereas the Bucks don't. I'm
gonna keep it 1,000, bro.
Hold on. The only thing with the Bucks too, right? The only time that they really start playing well when everybody's contributing is when Giannis is not on the floor.
That's when they're at home.
No, that's how they won the last series, though, right?
Oh, I'm talking about this series. I'm talking about this one.
I get it, but I'm saying I'm just talking about the chemistry of that team. That's how they're built. See, what I'm saying is this, right? When Giannis is on the floor, they're not going to get the shots that they normally would take if he's not on the floor. So what I'm saying is, knock on wood, if Giannis was hurt or if he wasn't in, they would put up probably more points because they can take more shots that Giannis isn't going to take the space up for. So what I'm saying is, if you put them in trouble early on them not making those shots and seeing them fall, then that's putting more pressure on Giannis to try to do it all. And that's when they'll crumble. Because Giannis doesn't want to try. Giannis is going to do whatever he can to win, right? This is his first finals. He knows that it's on his back. He has to play well at home because he knows when he goes back on the road, they're going to start counting again.
Yo, he made a lot of free throws the other day, bro. I was surprised.
They weren't counting.
He was comfortable. They was not counting, though, man.
Right. So he was able to concentrate. But what I'm saying is it gets in his head. I don't care what you say. He knows that they're going to count. That's in his head. You can hear that. You hear that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care what internal clock you have. You're going to have to train with basically them bringing speakers out while you shooting free throws and they counting on the speed. Like, it's too much. But when he's at home, they're going to be as quiet as they can to make sure he makes it.
Let me tell you what's crazy. So we went to I was at the park, right? Mm-hmm. And so somebody was out there talking about, just normal talk. And so he tried to say that Giannis was trash, right? Oh. So he said, yeah, he can't even make his free throws when it count. I said, okay. I said, well, listen, he hit at one point in the regular season, he was shooting about 70%, right? I said, how? You know me, right? If you say he's trash, well, what can you do, right? Right. So I put him up on the line. I put him up on the line, right? So let me take 10 free throws. He made 3 of them, right? And I'm thinking like, bro, wait a minute. You trash? And you made 3 free throws. You need to taper your. He was like, yeah, but I'm not a professional athlete. I'm thinking like, bro, you need to go somewhere. Stop it. That's what I told you. When you say trash, let me see you do a left hand layup. Then we can start having a conversation.
Yeah, no, I don't think Giannis is trash, man. I think he's a young player that still can improve his game. He's very aggressive when he needs to be. But yeah, he can definitely improve his game. But no, he's not trash. He's not Anthony Davis. He's not inconsistent like that. So no, I'm riding with Giannis. But at the same time, I just think this is the Suns' year.
Yo, let me ask you something, bro. Okay, let me switch topics on you real quick.
Yeah, you good.
Okay, this is something I just find to be interesting, bro. Okay. So I saw recently that 2 I don't want to say local artists, but up and coming rappers, right, have died. Bruh, okay, this is the thing I think that's interesting. Chicago is on a whole nother level. But this dude, rapper from LA, he was talking kind of spicy about, you know what I'm saying, about the boy Nipsey Hussle, right? And he's going live talking about it, saying this stuff, and gets killed on his live. Gets killed on his Instagram live, right? I was like, what the whole hell? But outside of that, right, there's another rapper in Chicago. This man looks like he was just getting out of jail, right? He just got out of jail, Ace Kennedy. This man wasn't even across the street from the jail. They killed him across the street on his way out. This man got shot 64 times, bro. They was trying to make sure he was dead, bro. That is crazy to me, though, man. Like, I've never had any street beefs, rap beefs. But listen, man, this man was already in jail. Right? Think about this, though, man. And I assume that if he's in Chicago, he got to be young. I wouldn't say this dude was over 25. I don't even know him from a can of paint. I'm going to assume that he was a younger guy, though, bro. But duh, it hurt my heart at the same time to just see how little regards that was given for his life. Either one of them, though, bro.
Right, that's unfortunate, man. And it's just like, and what exactly do you gain, right, from, like, I've never been a part of a gang, so I don't know the whole deal, like, what type of cred you get for doing whatever. That is a very interesting situation altogether.
Yo, I'm sitting here trying to, I don't even know what in the world. I'm like, God, I'm at a loss though, bro, because I'm looking at this. And I'm talking about homeboy, young looking dude. Can't be over 25, bro. Crazy though, man. Crazy.
Yeah, these kids, bro, they wild out here, bro.
Yeah, man. Wow. Listen, man. One other thing I wanted to run by you though, man. This is. I would love to get your perspective on this one, especially as a military veteran. We don't dabble into politics as much, right? But so last week, the president of Haiti was assassinated, right? And while the president of Haiti was assassinated, there's been this, United Nations call for the United States to kind of be involved to, help, I don't know, man. Help keep everything rested, right? But, give some force and everything like that, right? At the same time, the United States is withdrawn from Afghanistan, right? After these other years. And so the concern, of course, is that, well, you know what, man, all of these so-called terrorist groups now, without having the U.S. force and that pressure there, though, man, it just kind of makes them a little bit more active in these particular areas, though, man. And so, oddly enough, it's that in Afghanistan, while I mean they probably do have natural resources in that particular country, but very much like Haiti, there's a good portion of people in Haiti. From now, this is just me doing my own research. Now, of course, I got a couple of people I know from Haiti who might be able to verify and tell me otherwise. But I think that the thing that's interesting is that there's a lot of people in Haiti that live below the poverty line in Haiti, but it's primarily been because the instability within the presidency and within their political offices, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in Haiti in particular, what's interesting is that they have this dilemma, right? Because they're trying to decide if they're going to have a runoff for presidency, right? Or if it's just going to be maybe the prime minister steps on up and whatever. But over the years, though, bro, it's like in Haiti, being the president has been a position that has come with now assassination attempts. They've had back in the 90s, there was like in early as the 2000s, though, bro, there was these planned coups to get the presidents up out of there, man, by force, though, bro. And I was just like, bro. But my question for you, though, man, is that as somebody who served this great nation, I mean, how do you feel about the United States being involved as like the world police, man?
Man, at the end of the day, I think the U.S.'s stance is they want to keep peace. You know what I'm saying? And certain countries cannot defend themselves. I don't mind helping other countries as long as we're not interfering, like becoming the all authority behind it. But there are some places that actually need the help, and we have to keep the peace, because then you're going to have people that are overrunning over these countries and stuff like that. So I don't mind being in those places as long as, like, I deployed before, you know what I'm saying? And that's just a weird feeling all in itself, because you're going to a foreign country and you're basically living, in tents and this, that, and the other. And, I'm sure there's places where they got hardened facilities and stuff like that. But all to say is that I don't have a problem with us helping out, but I don't want it to be long term. So I don't have a problem either with pulling people out to bring them home, because like some of these people, man, their families is falling apart solely because they aren't home. Like you're leaving when your kids are taking their first steps, or when you were there for the birth, but then you're gone for 6 to 9 months out of the year, and your kids don't even know who you are. Like that's, I definitely, like, we know what we sign up for as being in the military, but at the same time, it's got to be a better job on rotation if we're going to be over there for a longer period of time. But I'm all for bringing our troops home.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that my thing is that I've just never been one who believes that the United States should necessarily force our values on other countries. Like, there are countries who've been living a certain way for years, like for forever. And I just don't know if it's our place to necessarily say, well, that's right or wrong, right? To necessarily be the police for the entire world. Now, if it's just us being involved, that's one thing. But that is the one thing that I can probably say about 45 that I agreed with, is that he said that we don't need to be in the business of making sure all these other countries are okay. That unless we have some kind of direct interest in it, benefit from it, like I that's one of the things that I would probably say that I agree with. It's just weird though, man. It's never felt like we can be a part of the world, policing the world, but I don't think that we should necessarily have to be the one that's the enforcer though, bro.
No, I definitely think that there's rules though that were put in place to say, all right, this is the type of thing that, should happen, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And so if those things aren't happening, and if they don't have the power to defend themselves, then we should help in. So that's my only thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel impartial, man. I understand the goodwill behind doing it though, man. But at the same time, I also feel like, like come on, this has been our history. We don't have to be the one that carries the world sheriff badge.
Yeah, I get that. And like I said, I'm definitely don't want to interfere, but I definitely also think too that wars can start up, and because of certain, agreements, then you're almost obligated to help out. So that's my only thing.
Yeah. I get that. Listen, man, short episode today. Listen, but did you see, before we get on out of here, I was saddened that the boy Paul Orndorff died, man.
I don't know who you referring to.
Wait a minute, bro. This is Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff.
Oh, I didn't know him as Mr. Wonderful. I never knew his government name.
Oh my God. So
yeah.
Funny. I remember when I was a kid, I had the Paul Orndorff action figure, bro. I used to love him. I thought he was dope, bro.
Yeah. And I saw a lot of wrestlers putting a lot of tributes and stuff out there for him. He definitely impacted a lot of people's careers and stuff like that. And so, for that, I think that the wrestling world definitely was saddened about it. There's a lot of stuff just going on in wrestling, period, right now, man. Like a lot of things. Man, the girl Naomi had to delete her account. Alexa Bliss had to go off on some people. People are still getting fired out in these streets, bro. It's just so much going on.
Sasha Banks won an ESPY.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she won an ESPY for like best WWE moment. It was her and her match with Bianca Belair.
Okay, that's dope. Well, yeah, because they did headline WrestleMania, even though we've seen that before, but it was 2 black women headlining WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
The other thing too, Bailey is out, bro. She got hurt training, and she's out for about 6 to 9 months. So she probably gonna miss WrestleMania again, bro. That's what's crazy. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on in wrestling, bro.
You think WrestleMania is when? Is it February?
Typically April or March, end of March.
Do you think Ronda Rousey ever comes back to wrestling?
No, she's pregnant right now, bro, and that's what she left for to begin with, was to start a family. So she won't be back for quite some time. But now, what's her name? Mrs. Seth Rollins should be showing back up though.
Well, what I think is interesting is that the Money in the Bank that is coming on now, and Seth Rollins is like not even the front guy in the picture in the flyer. He's way in the back. I was like, bro, I ain't never seen Seth Rollins this far in the background of a guy.
Well, yeah, but you gotta understand, he just got married.
Like he's almost like a mid-carder.
But they're slowly trying to get him to start feuding with Roman.
I don't know if I want to see that.
You might as well. The Shield is not gonna get back together. If those are the top guys in the company, eventually they gotta face each other.
That's true, I guess. Yeah, I guess. But then what do you slide Brock Lesnar in?
I don't. They can't come to terms with Brock on money. So it's like, why even like bring his name up right now? If you firing all these people for budget cuts, then you definitely shouldn't be talking about bringing no Brock Lesnar up no time soon.
Good point.
Because so I found out why the boy Malachi Black was able to be on AEW. Remember when I called you and I was like super crunk about it? Well, so come to find out, when they were in NXT, they had their agreement that they have, the non-compete is 30 days. So when you bump up to the main roster, they're supposed to change it to 90 days. They never changed his contract. So when that boy was free, he was free.
Wow. I didn't know that he goes by Malachi Black.
Yeah, that's his name on AEW.
I used to like Aleister Black. I just like the name Aleister. I've never heard anybody else's name Aleister in my life.
No. And it's funny because he shot his own little vignette, like a little, you know how when Moxley left and then he had his whole little promo package that was ready to go. Well, he kind of did the same thing. So his led into his character on AEW. So you can tell he's like heavily involved with the creative process, which, you know, all of the wrestlers at AEW have a hand in their character. So it was super dope to see that, yeah, he's out there handling business, you know what I'm saying, and getting to do the character that he wanted to do for a long time. So yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, man. What you got planned for the rest of the week?
Oh my gosh, man! For the rest of the week, man, I'm I'm just already looking forward to the weekend, man. Like I'm talking about, like ridiculous. So I'm trying to. So I started dabbling back. If I had the calendar open, you know what I'm saying, got to playing around with some production stuff. But what I'm really trying to do is kind of carve out some time to just focus on doing some writing, though, bro. Like I got like 3 songs that I at least have the hooks for that I just need to write. Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm hoping that this week, if I can accomplish that by the end of the week, that's my goal. I would be happy with that. To have all 3 of these songs written so that I can just record them.
That's what's up.
What about you, man?
Oh man, supposed to be, you know, I had talked to Brown about, you know, seeing when we can get this video finished up. So still gonna be trying to figure that whole thing out. And then other than that, man, I'm trying to get this set together for the state fair. Okay. And I've been wanting to do some stuff. I got some other stuff coming up that I don't really want to speak on just yet to the people. But yeah, man, so yeah, I'm gonna just be busy this week, bro. That's about it. Like always. Of course, you know, next weekend I'll be out of town. We'll talk about that later. But yo, Friday we got some big plans that we trying to push up. You guys have to pay attention to the Facebook page and see what pops off. Friday's episode should be fun.
Yeah, man. On that note, hey, let's get that music there, Pimp Juice.
Doesn't matter what your name is.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Can you dig it?